students, we are back, and for today we will be learning about quarter 1, week 2, lesson number 2. Okay, so we will be discussing objective number 3, which is finds the sum of the terms of the given arithmetic sequence. So moving on from your module, we will proceed with the concept which is found on page number 7. So please follow. Okay, lesson number 2, we have arithmetic series. Okay, so before we figure out what arithmetic series is, let us have the activity, which is entitled something. Given the sequence 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on until 12, where 12 is equal to a sub 10 or 12 is the 10th term, let us determine the sum of the following. Number 1, a sub 1 plus a sub 2 plus a sub 3. So if we are going to substitute the 3 terms, okay, from the given arithmetic sequence, we get 3 plus 4 plus 5, which is equivalent to 12. Next, number 2, you are going to take the sum of a sub 1 plus a sub 5, which is the first 5 terms of the given sequence. So by substitution, we get 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7. And this is equivalent to 25. Next, for number 3, we get the sum of the first 10 terms of the given sequence. By substitution, we get 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 plus 11 plus 12. And it is equivalent to 75. Now notice that what we did here is we add the given sequence one by one to get its sum. Now, is there a shorter way to find the sum? Let us figure out. Now, looking at this given example here, notice that each number or each term in the given arithmetic sequence is being paired. The first term, which is 3, is being paired with 12. And if you notice, when we take the sum of the first term and the last term, the sum is equivalent to 15. Next, the second term is being paired to the second to the last term, which is 11. So if we get the sum of 4 and 11, it is equal to 15. Next, the third term is being paired to the third to the last term. We get the sum of the two. We have 5 plus 10 is still equal to 15. Next, the fourth term is being paired to the fourth to the last term, which is 9. So 6 plus 9 is equal to 15. And then 7, or the fifth term, is being paired to the sixth term or the fifth to the last term. And its sum is equal to 15. To get the sum of this one, simply multiply half the total number of terms and the sum of the first and the last term. So this is the shorter way. Accordingly, we have to get the sum by simply multiplying half the total number of terms. Now, since in this sequence there are 10 terms, and we get that half of the total number of terms, so 10 divided by 2, which is equal to 5, then we multiply that to the sum of the first and the last term, which is equal to 15. So how do we get that? So we have this solution. So we have 10, that's the total number of terms. We get its half, so 10 divided by 2, times the quantity of the sum of the first and the last term. So you can see here, it is 3 plus 12. So we solve this one, we get 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5 times the quantity of 3 plus 12 is equal to 15. And if we solve this now, 5 times 15, we get 75. Thus, the sum of the first 10 terms of the given sequence is 75. So if you notice, from what we did earlier in this activity, we added the given terms one by one to get 75. But in this case here, we are given a shorter way. Accordingly, what we need to do is simply multiply half the number of the terms in the given sequence to the sum of the first and the last term. So it's very easy and we get the same result. Okay, now let us now denote the sum of the first n terms of an arithmetic sequence, which is a sub 1 plus a sub 2 plus a sub 3 plus until a sub n by s sub n. So again, s sub n is the sum of n terms of an arithmetic sequence. We can rewrite the sum in reverse order. That is, s sub n is equal to a sub n plus a sub n minus 1 plus a sub n minus 2 until a sub 1. Rewriting the two equations above by using their preceding terms and the common difference d, we would have, okay, equation number 1, s sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus the quantity of a sub 1 plus d plus the quantity of a sub 1 plus 2d plus, okay, until the quantity of a sub 1 plus the quantity of n minus 1 times d. And for equation 2, we have s sub n is equal to a sub n plus the quantity of a sub n minus d plus the quantity of a sub n minus 2d plus until the quantity of a sub n minus the quantity of n minus 1 times d. Adding the equation 1 and equation 2, we get 2 times s sub n is equal to the quantity of a sub 1 plus a sub n plus the quantity of a sub 1 plus a sub n plus the quantity of a sub 1 plus a sub n plus, okay, until the quantity of a sub 1 plus a sub n. Since there are n terms of the form a sub 1 plus a sub n, so they are just the same, then 2 times s sub n is equal to n times the quantity of a sub 1 plus a sub n. Dividing both sides by 2, okay, we have now this. So s sub n is equal to n over 2 times the quantity of a sub 1 plus a sub n. Now, since we also know that a sub n equals a sub 1 times the quantity of n minus 1 times d, then by substitution, we have this one. So we can use either of the two. It can be s sub n is equal to n times the quantity of a sub 1 plus the quantity of a sub 1 plus quantity of n minus 1 times d all over 2. Or it can also be s sub n is equal to n over 2 times the quantity of 2 times a sub 1 plus the quantity of n minus 1 times d. Okay, so some of you might be wondering on when and how to use this formula. So, of course, we will learn more about it as we proceed with our discussion. So, but now we will be having the definition of an arithmetic series. So, accordingly, an arithmetic series is the sum of the terms of the arithmetic sequence. Okay, pinapa-add sa inyo yung mga terms sa arithmetic sequence, then that is arithmetic series. Okay? As an illustration, let us consider the arithmetic sequence 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If the terms of the sequence are expressed as sum, this becomes an arithmetic series. So, magiging ganito yung itsura niya. So, 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7. So, ina-add natin lahat ng terms in the given arithmetic sequence. So, the sum of it is 25. Okay, so arithmetic series ito siya kasi pinapa-add natin yung terms ng arithmetic sequence from 3 until 7. Now, we will have the formula in finding the sum of the terms in a finite arithmetic sequence. Again, going back with our discussion in week number 1, lesson 1, when we say finite arithmetic sequence, these are arithmetic sequence with end term or yung merong last term. Okay? Now, the first formula presented is S sub n is equal to n over 2 times the quantity of a sub 1 plus a sub n, given the first term which is a sub 1 and the last term which is a sub n of the given sequence. Or we can also use the second formula, okay, in the form of S sub n is equal to n over 2 times the quantity of 2 times a sub 1 plus the quantity of n minus 1 times d. The given is the first term and the common difference. Okay, so let us have two examples for each. So let us figure out which formula should be used. So let's have number 1. Find the sum of the first 10 terms of the arithmetic sequence 3, 6, 9. So again, since we are asked to find the sum of the first 10 terms, then this problem is about arithmetic series. For our solution, you always start with identifying what are the given. So of course, our a sub 1 is equal to 3, the first term. A is equal to 3. Our common difference is equal to 3 also. So even if it is not stated in the problem, but we can directly or easily identify the common difference in the given arithmetic sequence. So the d or common difference is equal to 3. And our n is equal to 10 because it is identified that we have to find for the first 10 terms. So n is equal to 10. So for the illustration, since a sub 1 and d are given, okay, then we will be using the second formula. Andito. So, ano ba yung second formula? It's S sub n is equal to n over 2 times the quantity of 2 times a sub 1 plus the quantity of n minus 1 times d. Ito yung gagamitin natin na formula. Okay. Now, once alam na natin, or once we know already what formula to use, then we can proceed now to step number 2. For step number 2, we are going to substitute the values of a sub 1, d, and n. So, from the given formula, let us start. So, S sub our n is equal to 10. So, I hope you are following. And then, equals. So, our n is 10. So, we change this to 10 over 2. Okay? Times the quantity, okay, of 2 times the a sub 1 is 3. So, please do not forget to write open and close parenthesis. So, you will know that you need to multiply 2 and the first term, or 2 times 3. Okay, plus, the quantity of our n is 10, minus 1, and then times, the common difference is equal to 3. So, once we have already substituted all the variables in the given formula, then it's time to evaluate the given equation using the Pemdas rule. So, the first is to subtract the terms inside the parenthesis. So, we have S sub 10 is equal to, of course, since we already know what is 10 divided by 2, that is equal to 5. So, nalagay na dyan yung 5. Next, we can now multiply 2 times 3, it becomes 6. Okay? Plus, 10 minus 1 is equal to 9. And then, times 3. So, we copy this. So, next is to add the terms inside the parenthesis and then multiply the factors. So, we'll have it in this solution. So, we can now have S sub 10 is equal to 5 times the quantity of 6. Okay? And then plus, so we can now multiply 9 times 3 and we get 27. Next, we will simplify further. We have S sub 10 is equal to 5. And then add the terms inside the parenthesis. So we have 6 plus 27 is 33. And lastly, we can now multiply. So we have S sub 10 is equal to 5 times 33 is 165. Therefore, we can conclude that if we get the sum of the first 10 terms of the given sequence 3, 6, 9, its sum is equal to 165. Okay, so let us have example number 2. Find the sum of odd integers from 1 to 99. So as a review, when we say odd integers, these are integers that are not divisible by 2. Ibig sabihin, kapag divide natin ang number by 2, it will not give us a whole number. Okay? From this, we will try to identify which among the two formula is best or are we going to use. So number 1, write some terms of the sequence. So we have 1, 3, 5, 7 until 99. So these are odd integers. Next, number 2, from that we can now identify the given. We have a sub 1 is equal to 1, a sub n is equal to 99, and the common difference is equal to 2. Solve for n. So in this case, we need to find or identify what is the value of n because it is not stated in the given problem. So for us to be able to solve for the value of n, okay, we will be using the formula for finding the nth term of an arithmetic sequence, which is a sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus the quantity of n minus 1 times d. Ito yung formula na gagamitin natin. Paano? Let us continue. First is we are going to substitute the values of a sub n, a sub 1, and d. Okay. So in the given equation, we have a sub n which is equal to 99. Our a sub 1 is equal to 1. So 99 equals 1 plus the quantity of n minus 1. So n here will remain as a variable because that is the unknown. Yan yung hahanapin natin. Okay, and then our common difference is equal to 2. So, we apply the distributive property of multiplication over subtraction. So, we have 99 equals 1 plus, so we will distribute 2 to n minus 1. So, 2 times n, we get 2n. And then 2 times negative 1, we get negative 2. Okay. Next is subtract the common terms. So we have 99 is equal to, so the common terms here are 1 and negative 2. So 1 minus 2 is negative 1. And then we just copy 2n kasi wala naman siyang common term dyan. Okay? Next is to apply addition property of equality or the APE. So 99 plus 1 equals to 2n minus 1 plus 1. From this, we apply now multiplication property of equality. So ito, magiging 99 plus 1, which is 100, equals to 2n. Okay, this will be equal to 0. So negative 1 plus 1 is 0. So ang maiiwan na lang dito is 100 equals 2n or 2n equals 100. Now, for the last part here, we apply the multiplication property of equality or the MPE. We will now multiply both sides by 1/2 to get the value of n. Para yung maiwan na lang is yung variable n. So, 1/2 times 2n is equal to n. And 100 times 1/2 is equal to 50. Okay? Then, by this time now, we already know what is the value of n. So, once we have now the value of n, then we can already solve the arithmetic series. So, alin yung gagamitin natin na formula? Of course, going back, okay, since in the given, meron tayong first term, okay, please follow, first term and the last term and the value of n, then we can use the formula of S sub n is equal to n over 2 times the quantity of a sub 1 plus a sub n. Yan yung gagamitin nating formula. So if you're going to substitute this now to the given values of the variable, we have S sub 50, which is the value of n, equals to 50 over 2. Okay, palitan lang yung variables, times the quantity of the first term, which is 1, plus the last term, which is 99. And then we can now simplify. So, S sub 50 is equal to 25, okay, times 100. And 25 times 100 is equal to 2,500. Hence, the sum of the odd integers from 1 to 99 is 2,500. Okay, so by this time, you will now be asked to answer the SAQ questions 1 and 2. So the first question here is, how can you find the sum of the terms of an arithmetic sequence if the number of terms or the n is unknown? Okay, obviously, it is shown in example number 2. So please go over example number 2. Next, for number 2, you are going to state a real-life application of arithmetic series. Kailan ba o saan ba nagagamit yung concept of arithmetic series in real-life situations? Okay, so let's practice. Take note that all of your answers should be placed on the separate sheet. Okay, so directions. Given the steps on the left column, supply the illustration on the right column. So first is find the sum of the first 10 terms of the arithmetic sequence whose a sub 1 and a sub 4 are 5 and 38 respectively. So the steps here are already given. So what you need to do is to fill in. Kayo na ang maglalagay ng solution. So you are guided as to what you are going to do. So you're going to write your answers on the blank. So, i-complete nyo lang yan. So, dapat at the end of your solution, dapat kompleto yan lahat. Okay? So, remember, these are the key points that you need to remember. The sum of the terms, okay, of an arithmetic sequence is called arithmetic series. So, if the given problem asks you to take the sum or you're asked to add all the terms in an arithmetic sequence, then that is a problem about arithmetic series. Of course, the formula for finding the sum of arithmetic sequence is shown below. So, dalawa yan sila. So, when are you going to use the formula? If in the given problem, a sub 1 and a sub n is there, then you will use yung first formula. Kapag naman, in the problem, the first term and the common difference is given, then you can use the second formula. So, either, kung ano yung mas convenient na gamitin, depende sa kung ano yung given. Okay, for the try part. Assessment 1. Okay, directions. Find the sum of the following sequence and write the letter on the blank that corresponds to the answer. So, question. What do ghosts use to travel? Okay. So, in this case, you're going to identify the sum of the sequence, and then hanapin ninyo yung sagot dito sa baba. So, dyan nyo ilalagay yung kanilang letter. Let's say for number 1, for this one, R. So, the sum of 1 to 10, kasi S sub 4 man. So, the first 4 terms. So, kung ano yung answer dyan, hanapin nyo dito sa baba, doon nyo ilalagay yung letter R. Hanggang makompleto ninyo yung given. And it will reveal the answer to the question, what do ghosts use to travel? Yeah, very exciting. Okay, next, assessment number 2, directions. Find S sub n for each of the following. So we have number 1, okay, that is the given. So you're going to look for S sub 9, the sum of the terms until the 9th term. Next, for number 2, you're going to find for S sub 20. Okay, for number 3, you're going to find for S sub 12. For number 4, you're going to find for S sub 10. And for number 5, you're going to look for S sub 8. Again, S sub n denotes the sum of the terms in the arithmetic sequence. And for assessment number 3, okay, it's multiple choice, so you are going to choose the letter of your answer and then just write the letter, okay, of your answer on a separate sheet. That is for assessment number 3. So that's the end of our discussion for today's topic. If you have questions regarding the topic, please contact your subject teachers. We really hope that you have learned something from us. If you have any questions or suggestions to improve our video, please don't hesitate to say it on the comment section. We will really appreciate. And if you find this video useful, please click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you'll be updated on our next video lesson. Have a great day and stay safe. Bye!